Within the next few minutes, you're gonna get to know why giant guns actually suck and what you can carry instead of a gun as a US citizen. If you are Steve from Minecraft. When I say Dora, if you're a normal person, you probably imagine Dora as explorer, and the sick part will think of the fucking 47 meters length German railway monster Schwerer Gustav with a caliber of 800 millimeters and a weight of 1,350 tons. Shortly, today I'll tell you about Hitler's personal project, Schwerer Gustav. It's actually Schwerer Gustav. I just like to say it with a Hitler-like accent and Gustavo like Gus Fring. In 1930s, France realized that Germany is not the most peaceful neighbor to have by your side and decided to build the Maginot Line, which is certainly a line of strong fortifications to make it much easier to defend from Germans in case they would decide to attack, or rather when they decide to attack. And Germans, while discovering the Maginot Line details, were like, yo, we are fucked. How are we gonna get through it, huh? And Germans, as usual, decided that to break through a strong defense line, they need a bigger gun. So Wehrmacht asked Krupp, a heavy industry conglomerate located in Essen, to prepare ballistic reports for guns with different calibers from 70 to 100 centimeters. So they did. The goal was to find a gun that can fire outside enemy's artillery's range and penetrate 7 meters of reinforced concrete, or 1 meter of steel armor. In March 1936, nearly at the same time when Germans decided to move their troops into Rhineland, the demilitarized zone in result of World War I, the Austrian painter with stylish mustache visited the factory and asked what can even penetrate the Maginot Line.
You're gonna just bypass it.
And Krupp explained that they can construct a railway gun with 80 centimeter caliber. So the mustache guy accepted the offer. I mean, why would you even say no to such a huge machine? He liked huge things. It had 4 parts that moved him. The railway gun, not the mustache guy. The max range of an armor-piercing shell was 38 kilometers, and it could penetrate the Yamato battleship with the thickest armor ever made, which was approximately 66 centimeters. But high explosive shell was able to pass 10 kilometers more, what was 48 kilometers. So for example, if a person in Manchester, namely Steve from Minecraft, because this shit was heavy, decided to bring a Schwerer Gustav with them instead of a pocket knife or a ball, they would have been able to easily bomb Liverpool with high explosive shells. However, unfortunately, it's the UK, not the US, so a person is not able to buy railway guns. So let's move our Steve to where an average happy Steve that happened to own a Schwerer Gustav would be able to deliver 7,100 kilograms of democracy to wherever they want. For my fellow American viewers, it's about 45,806.45 double cheeseburgers. Don't thank me. A year later, in early 1937, the Austrian painter met with Krupp and saw it. The thing he liked the most. Even though it was just a blueprint, he liked it. A big, round gun. A giant railway gun completely outranging enemy's artilleries, and he liked it so much that he set to build 3 such guns and wanted one ready by March 1940, to have it by the time they'll need to push France. A tiny spoiler, the first one was built only in 1941 when France had already capitulated, and they obviously didn't need to break through Maginot Line anymore, because they literally went around. So now they have fucking 1,350 tons of metal they need to serve and maintain. And trust me, Schwerer Gustav and Dora, which was simply the second gun built, named Dora by its crew, if we trust English sources, because the German sources for some reason state that the first gun was named Dora, but I'll refer to the second gun as Dora. So, Schwerer Gustav and Dora were fucking needy hoes, and the problem of such a huge machine not only was accuracy, since despite the fact that shells created 30 meters craters, it didn't cancel the fact that sometimes shells fell 300 meters away from each other. What was like throwing nukes but hit in a random country every time. But it also took way too many people. Now, I mean, imagine requiring over 1,300 personnel to prepare it for firing. It also had 2 flag battalions to defend the gun from air attacks. I didn't find what flag battalions though, cause everyone just says there were 2 flag battalions, but the problem is that German had 4 types of flag battalions, light, heavy, mixed and searchlight, and I honestly have no idea which one was used for defending Schwerer Gustav. So if you know, let me know in the comments. And all that I've said before due to the cost of that fat bitch to only use Schwerer Gustav once, during the siege of Sevastopol, a Ukrainian city located in the Crimean Peninsula. They fired 48 shells at the city and then the gun wore off. You know, it reminds me of the good old fuck up everything in this general direction. What about Dora, you might ask? Well, Dora hasn't ever been used. It was deployed near Stalingrad, but German troops had to retreat under the threat of encirclement by the time Dora was ready. Some very cautious viewers might ask me what happened with the third gun I slightly mentioned before, Schwerer Gustav. Oh no. Schwerer Gustav! It had the caliber of 52 centimeters, but it hasn't been finished because the Allies bombed the city it was being built in regularly. And you could imagine that it's easier to catch a bomb with your hands than build something under rain of thousands of bombs. Thanks for watching, guys. David is here, and don't forget to leave the like and subscribe to the channel if you liked it. We'll see you next time. Напевно.